living. And behind me, you can see we were busy over the weekend. We were able to complete our ceiling for the loft area. So we did tongue and groove pine, the same as we did for the kitchen. And this way, with the loft being a lot closer of a ceiling than the kitchen, the job actually went much more quickly, and it was a little bit easier to install because the lower part down here you could do standing up. Even this middle part you could do pretty much just standing, and then you could use a step ladder for about 80% of it, and then those taller extension ladders just for the last few pieces up close to the center beam there. So it took about a day and a half to complete the job, and the most time-consuming parts were when you had to rip a board down to fit against these beams up here. So sometimes you're only putting in a couple of inches or instead of a full board. So we had to take those boards outside and rip them down and then and join them. So we're not completely, totally done. We still have to put up trim pieces. So there'll be some spots where you can see it's mostly like along the edge of the beams, the purlin beams there, that some of them have a little bit of a gap, and Brian wants to go ahead and put some trim pieces in there to hide those gaps. He figures it's a lot easier to work with little trim pieces than to have to scribe everything down to fit for perfect fit. There's no boards behind the purlin beams. We just fit about 7 boards in between each of the beam sections. So anyway, I want to show you guys kind of some of the things that we encountered when we were going ahead to get the ceiling done. Brian did have to come up with one creative scribing technique because he can't, we're not really sure where his scribe is right now. And better to just come up with a creative solution than to hunt around for an hour and lose an hour or two worth of work. So a lot of our workarounds are to save time. So we'll come up with a reason or come up with a creative way to get something done so we don't have to waste a bunch of time, because we just have the weekends primarily to work on these things. And to make the most use of our day, we would prefer to make the best use of our time. So anyway, guys, we'll show you how our ceiling turned out. As you can see behind me, it looks pretty good, even with that ceiling fan up there. Still got the ladders up here, but I think we're going to be moving down and working on the floor. So anyway, take a look and see how we did.
I'm just trying to make sure it's level from here to there. I'll put a trim piece down there because there'll be a gap down there. Once I scribe the board somehow, that'd be a total pain in the rear. The beam kind of rolls out and it rolls in over there.
Oh, maybe trim piece is the best way.
Yeah. Well, I spent 2 hours scribing that. I just measured down here to get a reference, and then over there so we get the same distance to here.
So you're just going beam to beam, not all the way to the center, as far as level.
Oh,
Measuring.
yeah. Yeah, I'll just go from here to the next one, and then,
Yeah, okay.
because there won't be anything behind this beam.
Okay.
So next one we'll just start right there.
Cool. There's all our ceiling wood. Ready to go. And then these are all short pieces on each side of the dormer.
Yeah,
In the middle.
Not easier to put on.
Yeah. Should go faster than the kitchen.
Probably, yeah, because you're not up and down the ladder as much. I have something to rest the ladder against as well, so once you get up there, it's still, we can put a ladder on either side.
Right.
So that worked out good.
Well, it made work easy with the beams all ready to go, and Brian got started. I mean, it didn't even take him an hour to do this first section. He had one little cutout with the light switch up there, but it's about, I think this one was about 7 boards in between the 2 beams. And then we found that shims were another great friend when you were trying to work in these little tiny areas to get some leverage to close gaps. So kind of hammering in a shim here and there was a quick and easy way to get those gaps minimized so he could get in with a nailer and secure all the boards. Even go from the backside because there's still some space back there. So Brian worked on the long boards and I got to work cutting the short boards for the dormer side. So on each side of the dormer, the boards are only about 4 feet in length. So I had to cut quite a bit of those. So we got to work and I even was able to put up a few of the boards before Brian was ready to come over to my side. So I had the 2 lower levels done and he started working on the higher levels. First big slowdown was dealing with this sway in the purlin beam. It was quite exaggerated and Brian figured there was no other way to go about it other than scribing the board to it. But he had to come up with a scribe.
Here's my scribe.
It looks like a block.
It's a block, 3.5 inches, just a screw to make a mark. This edge goes against the beam, like that.
Oh. We're dealing with a bowed beam. I guess you can see the mark pretty good.
Yeah, let's throw a pencil through it.
We only tacked it on with like 2 nails. So, just plucking it right off. And now time for the cutting. Okay. Look at that. Wow, look at that tight fit. Perfect to the beam.
This tight.
Good.
I think I need to scribe a little bit off over there now. Come up and hold it.
The old punch it into place trick.
Well, it's hard to tell when you got such a big long board because it was bowed. There's a tiny gap on there.